I was raised in a middle class home and have come to understand that in order for me to succeed in the future, I will need to have a successful profession or job, a type of job that will help me improve the life I have been living throughout my life's journey. But those were all things that I had anticipated. As I have grown and matured as a person, I have come to realize that we don't really need a job that will pay us well enough to buy the things we wanted. Rather, I did realize that we need a job that will be able to satisfy the deepest desire we have. And on my journey, I have discovered that teaching is something I wanted to pursue. As an individual, I already have a number of questions on my mind. But one that will undoubtedly put all of you at peace is that, why do I teach? Well, to put it simply, I don't teach for the money or the numerous benefits that come with my line of work. For me, such things are really a bonus. First and foremost, I knew when I began teaching that it was not a career that would lead me to a financial success or enable me to live the life I had dreamed of from the very beginning of my trip. I am a passionate teacher. Therefore, that's why I do what I do. And because I wanted to see my students to develop as individual and as a member of society who can contribute to society as time goes on, I became a teacher. And aside from that, I wish to leave a lasting impression on my students, one that would remind them of my contribution to their early years. And I instruct to understand that anything they think is difficult for them to accomplish is actually feasible for as long as they have the confidence in their own abilities. I wanted my student to understand that success in life does not always depend on academic achievement. Rather, it depends on your ability to endure and conquer or overcome the challenges or the challenging circumstances that you might face in the near future. And as a teacher and person, I firmly think that in order to touch a student's heart, you must comprehend how they feel and how they perceive you. Let's be honest, not every first impression is favorable, but that is what makes us teachers. So even if it's just a simple way to start, I think we can touch their hearts and make them feel at peace whenever we are with them if we just create a strong relationships by validating their feelings, opinions, beliefs, and values in life. And additionally, I think that we need to help our students to become a better version of themselves. And instead of using force to make children learn new things, we should allow them to expand their knowledge, skills, abilities, and capabilities. We should also allow them to cultivate it with our help and nurture it with our own way. Education should put more emphasis on the complete child rather than on the subject matter or in the instructor, as the progressivism concept contends. This educational concept places a strong emphasis on the need for pupils to actively experiment with their own ideas. The question that learners have as a result of experiencing the world are the foundation of learning. It is our sole responsibility and accountability to mold the student into a beautiful work of art that might serve as a symbol of hope for the country. If I had to choose a metaphor for teaching, I would unquestionably choose a teacher is a sculptor. Even if we lack resources to employ as teaching tools, as sculptors, we are still able to find a method to step and carve them into a long learning curve type of learner, since wisdom takes a long time to build and nurture. Whatever the outcomes of my investigation may be, opportunity will always present itself to rebrand what we have in mind. And as an educator, I know that the disciplinary environment I left in their minds would help them develop their character and serve as a guide for them as they travel through their life's voyage. So when viewed from the most comprehensive angle, teaching and learning should complement one another and start on an equal footing. However, if the teacher and the student have distinct identities and backgrounds, it won't necessarily lead to a positive conclusion. Instead, it will merely widen the gap because of the disparate identities and backgrounds. As I previously stated, in order to understand each other's concerns, we must learn about and validate our students' feelings, values, beliefs, and thoughts. Teachers must do the same. We must be open-minded and make our students feel at ease whenever we are with them. It is undoubtedly challenging for a teacher to use those pedagogies, but I'm not like that. In fact, I wanted to push myself by applying my skills to social and narrative communications, whether they are used in academia or not. And as a result of pedagogical strategies, I wanted my students to integrate themselves into a fresh point of view so that they could think critically and logically. I also wanted them to discuss it on their own, to come to a consensus that would encourage inclusivity in the context of various point of view. By altering the layout, I also want my student to develop their character as well as their capacity for critical and logical thought. As a teacher, I believe that giving the students feedback and assessments would make it more difficult to them to comprehend situations they could encounter in real life. As someone who shapes them into people, I wouldn't just focus on creating exams, assignments, assessment tests, and other forms of testing. Instead, I would concentrate on their individuality concept of learning. As their sculptor, I wouldn't just focus on what the looks or what the books might teach them. I would also pay attention to each person's talents and skills beyond the books or other learning materials. In front of them, I want them to realize their potentials, because some learning cannot be measured or can't be understood by using only books or educational materials. And that is my teaching philosophy.